In the world of streaming era hip hop, one album set the record and sparked debates worldwide. Views was either the crowning achievement of a global superstar or the moment he prioritized charts over challenge. The jury will decide today.
Welcome to another episode of Rap in Order. I'm First Class Regg.
And I am Taurian B.
How we feeling today, sir?
I'm feeling good, bro. I get no complaints.
Good. I see you got that Superman tee on.
Yeah, man, I'm excited, man. James Gunn, I am on board with James Gunn. He made Guardians of the Galaxy, so I enjoyed his version of Suicide Squad.
I did too. He had his elements in his movies though when he makes his villains. They're very cartoony, but in the same way, it kind of pays that homage to the comic books.
Right. Did you watch Peacemaker?
Yeah, I love Peacemaker.
Yeah.
It's coming back, I think, in August.
We're getting a new Peacemaker, right?
Yeah.
So, for me, you saw Thunderbolts. How would you, just James Gunn's Suicide Squad, how would you compare that to Thunderbolts?
Like, as far as like what's better?
Mm-hmm.
You know, as much as I liked, that's hard. I probably need more time with that one.
Okay, cool.
But I did enjoy both. I enjoyed both. I do think that Thunderbolts was a little overrated.
Okay.
I think people calling it like the third. Well, it's ranked in Rotten Tomatoes as like for having the third best review of any MCU movie. I think it's like in the high 90s or some shit like that. And I think while I think it was a good movie and it's a nice return to form for MCU because a lot of people feel like they've been lacking for a few years, I just still wouldn't rank it that high.
I think what happens is like, I do know that there's undertones of mental health in there. Obviously with the Sentry character, that's obvious, right? But I also think because they're characters that like, these film critics, you know, they know the lore of like, of certain characters, the Fantastic Four, Spider-Man, of the X-Men, you know, so certain things like there are like that you just know in pop culture, so you might compare it. But these characters are all completely like not popular characters.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's easier to enjoy it with no expectation.
That's true.
Versus then knowing the who the characters are. So I think that's why it was easier for the critics to rank it that high. Because I'm just like, I mean, you know, like I can only imagine like how much better it is in some of the other MCU films, but I'm just like ranking it third. I'm just like, so wait a second. So that means, so what? Like, all right, Captain America, Winter Soldier, right? So what? Endgame, Infinity War. Right, so then like you like, so you're telling like, so this was ranked higher than like, you know, so that's why I'm just like, yeah, I can see what you're saying with that. I just wouldn't, but
but I mean I did enjoy it. It. I want to see what happens next as far as like you know, when you do see it, you'll see like at the end portion of it of like what they hint toward of like what's happening next.
Yeah,
and it's being used as that vehicle for what's happening next. So that's good.
Yeah, I'm gonna see it soon. What else did I have to say? Okay, back to the Superman movie. I am excited to see what James Gunn does with Superman. I definitely think like he's going to like add like a new wrinkle to it. I just hope that like he does what is supposed to be done as far as like getting kids to like really enjoy and love Superman, because because Superman is so strong and powerful, it's hard to like root for him because it's just like, how, like, who's really gonna beat this nigga?
Yeah.
I think that's the thing that's like, that sucks for Superman, right?
That's been the hang up for Superman for some time.
And he has like so I know this much. The Sentry is supposed to be the Superman of the MCU. He suffers from mental health and basically he is his villain, right? So it's like, yeah, how can he beat himself? With Superman, like, it's kind of like, yo, like, all right, you know, Superman holding back, so that's why they beating his ass. But you know, so I think like it takes time. So we'll see. I'm excited for that. I'm also excited because this summer I'll be going to see Chris Stapleton.
Nice.
So me and Sarah are going to dress up in like cowboy rodeo clothes and shit.
Okay. Beyonce couldn't get y'all to do it? That's crazy.
Yeah, right? You're right. That's a fact.
Yeah.
Definitely doing it for Chris Stapleton though. And then in August I'm going to SummerSlam, and it's going to be a 2-day event. So basically SummerSlam for wrestling, WWE, is now becoming the summertime WrestleMania. It's a 2-day event.
I mean, well, it kind of already was, no?
Yeah, essentially it was, but like now they're making it a 2-day event like WrestleMania.
Oh, got it.
And they want it because I guess like certain SummerSlams did really good and certain SummerSlams didn't. But like they want this one to be just as big as a spectacle. So this is the first year where it's gonna be a 2-day event. Cardi B is hosting it. The way things are looking there's some storylines that are gonna like hit like ahead because a lot of stuff is going to happen between like now and August. So Cody will be back, Roman Reigns will definitely be there, CM Punk will be involved as long as he fucking stays healthy. Seth Rollins has a new storyline that he's going on right now, and he has Braun Breaker next to him, and Paul Heyman is managing them. A lot of the women wrestlers are getting like a lot of cool storylines. I'm hoping to see Bianca Belair. She's one of my favorite wrestlers.
Mine too.
So she's fucking dope. and Rhea Ripley will absolutely be there because like I mean she's just like the incel queen. Like nah bro, those computer niggas love Rhea Ripley, bro.
Yeah.
So she comes out just like a dominatrix every week and just
and people be like, choke me.
Yeah, spit in my mouth. Like somebody yelled that at her.
Word?
Like, like she was talking to a fan and the man was like, spit on me.
People be into some wild shit, boy.
But yeah, so I'm really excited.
That should be cool.
I'm excited. Also upcoming this, I'm looking forward to taking Mav to like the beach. Because with your kid, everything is their first time. So the first time like seeing the ocean, his first time touching sand, his first time like it's just all these like cool things, like so I'm excited for that this summer. Like
that's
take him to do
what beach?
Well, I definitely know for 4th of July we'll be going to South Carolina. So I'm like, fuck it. Like my family, like we stay right by where I guess it would be the Atlantic Ocean. So in South Carolina. So
that'd be fly.
Yeah.
That's fly.
So I like kind of thinking about certain things that I want to do. Have you ever quick pivot? Have you ever thought about taking like a road trip across country?
I've thought about that. I think we talked about that before.
Yeah, that's something that I really want to do. I just got to figure it out now because I have a family. I should have fucking did that in my 20s.
But I think it'll probably be even more fun with your family.
Right.
Get like an RV.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's something I've been like thinking about because like I watched like this documentary on Route 66. Route 66 is not what I'm taking across country, right, by the way, because like a lot of areas are desolate. There's nothing there. That's how people
There's
get
nowhere
murdered.
For you to,
But I definitely would like to take like a cross country trip. I just wonder like where I would start from. Like would I start from like the Northeast or like would I like go down and like it's certain routes and certain things that I want to see or like places that I want to stop before I get to wherever I go, because it might not even be California I go to. I might go to like Arizona or Nevada, because it's more about scenic stuff than going to.
I was gonna say shit. Arizona would be nice.
Yeah,
I always hear about some great scenic spaces in Arizona.
Is definitely beautiful, like in the things that you see. So I'm working on it, thinking about it. I just I just don't want to die on that road trip.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, so I
gotta look.
I watch too many movies.
You do your due diligence and do your research for sure. Yeah, man. So that's cool. That's cool. What else we got?
That's all. I think we can get into this album.
Well, this one I actually was kind of excited that we're doing this one.
Okay.
It was a fun revisit. The year is 2016, right? This is a time frame that I feel like the internet has come to romanticize. You ever just see people on the internet just say, hey, 2016, man, that just was the year. That was like, I feel like millennials are always like, man, that year was just, it was great.
And it's so funny to say that because like for me, I enjoy like 2012 to 2014 more than I think anybody that I know. I think like cause 2015 for me, I had stopped party promoting and I started working again, and like things just like I still was going out and stuff like that, but 2012 to 2014 was the shit for me. Let me tell you something, Reg.
Those were interesting for me. You had some good times. I remember that. But I think for me, 2016, shit, I turned 30. Well, you turned 30.
We both turned 30, yeah.
I went to Amsterdam that year. Went back to Cameroon that year. I went to LA that year. I was all over the place.
2016 was a good year. I just think that I had committed to adulthood right before that.
Mm-hmm.
Like I I was like, all right, I'm an adult. Like it's time to start locking in.
Yeah.
And I'm telling you, 2014, man. Woo. Great year.
But yeah, so I think this album that we're getting into today partially is the reason why a lot of people romanticize 2016. This artist is partially the reason why people romanticize that year. And I'm talking about Drake. You know, despite how anyone may feel about him today, his stamp is there. He's forever stamped for what he's been able to do over the years and being as consistent as he's been for almost 15, 16 years. So this album came out, we're talking about Views, April 29, 2016. Views is Drake's fourth album. It was backed by 5 singles, including Hotline Bling and One Dance. It debuted at number 1 with 1.4 million copies sold in its first week. It spent 13 non-consecutive weeks at number 1 on Billboard and has since been certified 8 times platinum.
Mm-hmm.
Now, we know that Drake, we know about the beef that he had with Meek Mill, and that became kind of like the back end point of this album. But a lot of people felt like he lost a lot of credibility through that beef with Meek, even though he won. But what came from that was the ghostwriting allegations. And then Drake just kind of chose to show and prove. He put out records. He put out a big album.
Mm-hmm.
A very, like some people would say, bloated album. This album is 20 songs long. What do you remember about the release of Views?
The Joe Budden rant.
Mm-hmm.
So when the Joe Budden rant came out, at the time I didn't understand what the rant was about. Like what Joe was saying, like I thought that it was just like some super personal shit because like he kind of was like talking cryptically. But through doing research for this album, I learned that like it was basically saying that Joe was alluding that Drake sold out and that like he's uninspired, like he's not making inspired music, like he basically just made cookie cutter songs that he knew could get on radio. Like it would, like Drake took the easy route out. Essentially, like Drake did what Views, what Kanye did with My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy. Both 2 great projects, both 2 beloved projects, but it was like easy work for those artists. Like they weren't being challenged.
Right.
In 2016, I didn't realize that. So I thought the rant was funny. I was really into the Joe Budden podcast. I think that rant is kind of like what separated Joe. Yeah, it separated the Joe Budden podcast from the rest and like kind of like put him like on like in like another stratosphere, right? But that's what really like locked me in. I also remember that summer when we went to LA. So that was what, summer 2015?
Yeah, I think. Well, yeah.
Okay, so the summer 2015. Let's go back. Summer 2015, we all went to LA for the first time together, and like that was in the heat of the Meek and Drake battle, and he dropped Hotline Bling, but I think it was called the Cha Cha remix.
Yeah.
Right. So that was like the beginning of like the rollout for this album, right?
Back to Back came out when we was in LA.
Right, Back to Back. Oh man, Back to Back. Oh man,
and Charged Up.
Yeah, I think that, you know what's funny? I think people won't kill me for this. I think Back to Back is a better diss record than They Not Like Us, and I'm a huge Kendrick fan.
Okay.
You didn't think I would say that, did you?
No.
I do think so. I think that Back to Back is a better, like it's just more witty and more like to me it was more of an embarrassment. It's like Drake took a belt off and just beat Meek's
first of his kind.
Yeah.
First of his kind.
You know, so but anyways, what I want to say is that like the anticipation for this album, everything that was going on was just like the perfect storm for Drake. Even though it sucked that, you know, somebody that Drake considered a friend was basically outing him, and then him going through all that shit with DJ Drama. It was kind of like we started seeing like the real Drake. And like the thing, like him being petty, the fact that like, you know, he's a dirty macker, the fact that like he takes other men's women and then taunts them about it.
Mm-hmm.
Like all of these things we were learning about Drake, like in real time, learning that like people really don't like Drake. Like, you know, we learned, I think this was like the first time that I noticed that there was a rivalry between him, Kanye, and Hov.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like it was all of these different things that was happening at the same time. And Drake came out triumphant. Like he came out and put out this massive project, and basically it was supposed to be like it was different. It felt like different seasons in Toronto.
Yeah, that's exactly what it was inspired by.
Right.
Yeah.
So yeah, like that's my memory of it, mainly Joe Budden, and then like just all the other things that were surrounding it. So like, yes, like when it initially dropped, the Joe Budden thing is what I think about, but there are other things that were surrounding the album before it dropped and after it dropped that like stand out significantly to me as well.
Mm-hmm. I also feel like leading up to this album, because he was promoting this a lot, and then that thing with Meek came out, and I think it changed the way that he approached this album.
Mm-hmm.
I think this album got a lot darker in tone than what he wanted, because I think that Meek shit really got to him.
Yeah, it did.
It really got to him, and I think he was kind of feel like the tone of this album is pretty depressing. Even though he says that it visits the different seasons, it all just feels like a cloud. It feels cloudy, partially because of the cover of the album.
Yeah, and it gave me an idea like that. Like people tell me that Toronto is dope, but it made me feel like Toronto just like a gloomy city.
Yeah, it felt, this whole album feels good. That's the word. This whole album feels gloomy as hell.
Yeah.
There's obviously summer parts on it, but even that, it still feels like a party that's jumping right before it rains.
Yeah. Like it just, yeah, it just, or like, it feels like you're at like this really, really dope party, and then like you take a minute to look out the window and think about some sad shit.
Yeah, for real.
Like everything's happening around you.
Yeah.
Right. During this time, like there was like a boom going on at this time. Would you say that Drake kind of like spearheaded the Afrobeats boom, or do you think that like Drake he was the most popular person doing it?
Most popular.
Okay.
I think what I'll give Drake credit for is always being ahead of the curve with like what the next sound is, and then kind of championing that sound.
Right.
And I think that's when a lot of other people,
right, because he took Caribbean music and shit like that like to a whole nother level.
Mm-hmm.
And like I remember it's like that was like perfect time because Rihanna was on her come up, and she's like the Caribbean artist, right?
Mm-hmm.
So like she was on the come up. Kendrick had dropped Untitled Unmastered. Kanye dropped The Life of Pablo. Forest Hills Drive, like this was like on the heels of that because it came out the end of 2014, but it rolled throughout all of 2015.
Mm-hmm.
And so like, you know, Cole was still like, you know, riding high on that. Birds in the Trap saying McKnight was coming. And then I believe Dirty Sprite 2 was already out as well.
2015.
Right. So like, you know, like these were the sounds, like, and what it sounded to be a lot. So these were the sounds that like we were hearing, and that was just going on in music. Also, Rihanna dropped Anti.
Mm-hmm.
Beyonce dropped Lemonade. So it was just, it was like, yeah, it was like a huge year. So like Spotify was like, you know, I want to say, I wonder is 2016 like one of like the biggest streaming years or something like that. Like it's 2016 for streaming what 1998 was for pure
album sales.
Yeah, I wonder. I gotta look that up. That's something that didn't come to my mind.
Okay. Yeah, because 2016 it was the All Stars, man.
Yeah.
What year was 444? That was 2017?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. That was just the All Stars. All of them was coming out. And I think Drake kind of spearheaded that moment because he came out at the top of all of this in April, you know, with this album.
Mm-hmm.
And going back to the Drake and Meek beef, like we know all about that and we know the lore of that, but I think his feelings were hurt and he went into this album completely different than what he initially planned to do.
Mm-hmm.
And then also it gave him more armor. He got a chance to really prove himself as a rapper with Meek. You know, Meek didn't execute what he was supposed to do properly. And Drake proved how calculated he was and then got back to the hits.
Yeah. Because
in the same package of him releasing, was it Back to Back? When he first put out Back to Back, he put out Hotline Bling the same day.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, OVO Sound on OVO Sound Radio. I remember because we went to Alex's house.
Yep.
To see Alex, and I remember like we like waited outside and we realized that there was a time difference.
Mm-hmm.
So we actually still had to wait, but like I think we listened to it at Alex's house.
Yeah, we did.
So that was pretty cool. Let's see. Do you think that this is like Drake's safest album?
Safest? No.
I think Thank Me Later is.
Thank Me Later is his safest, and I don't even like Thank Me Later.
Yeah, I don't know, but that's why I think like
Mm-hmm.
he literally like it was appeasing the label with that album.
Yeah. That album, and I'll give him that. That's okay because him coming out with that first album and him wanting to really succeed the way that he wanted to, and giving the duality of him, right? That he's always tried to do. I think that album, he had all the like clickbaity names on there, and yeah, that's the one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you think that he was chasing numbers or like was he trying to grow as an artist with this album?
I think it was both. Because when you can't look at Hotline Bling and say he just authentically did that. Like you watch the video. Remember when the album art took off and then people was like sticking the album art places? They like put it at the edge of a table so it looked like Drake sitting at the table.
Yeah. Like that became like, do you think, was that like the first time that something like that was happening?
Maybe for like album art, yeah. Like it definitely gave the album legs.
Right. Like it definitely made it like talked about. And then like from the Hotline Bling album, like, you know, the dance and everything like that. Like there was a lot of things that like because it looked like a T-Mobile or Sprint commercial.
Yeah, and that's when he started intentionally doing things that could be memeable because he saw the value in that. He recognized the value in like doing stuff like that because then it exists and stays on the internet for a long time.
Okay.
You know, so I think he started like playing internet games around this time.
Right. Yeah, he sure did.
Yeah.
And does the Caribbean inspired sound feel authentic or opportunistic?
I think that's also both. He identified both ends. I think he really liked it. I don't think Drake does stuff that he doesn't like. I think he really listens and is a fan of different music.
That's what I was about to say too. I think because to my understanding, in Toronto is very Caribbean, which is very. I wonder how the fuck they
like how did they get there?
Yeah, but yeah, so like me understanding that, I think sometimes we just can't get over the fact of seeing like Drake when he was younger and being like this, you know, like this mixed kid that was like on the grassy, like you just couldn't picture him like, you know, listening to like Afro beats and like certain Caribbean songs and stuff from patois.
Right.
And I think that like he was like, I think that he did enjoy that music. And I think that like early like interviews that we saw, I think he was just trying to like fit into something that he think he could. And then after a while he was like, fuck that. I like this shit. This shit is what I like and this is what I'm gonna fuck with.
Yeah.
You know, just because like, you know, what we got Controller, we got One Dance, and we got Too Good, right? I think like the production is what it is, and like, you know, he kind of like it didn't go nowhere because now we have artists like Tyler, Burna Boy. Who else do we have out here? Tyler, Burna Boy. Who else? Help me out, Reg.
Well, shit. WizKid was on.
WizKid was on the album, right? So you know, I just like I think that there was something that like Drake tapped into. Shit, look what just happened. What's his name? That just did the big show in Brooklyn.
Vibes Cartel. Vibes, yeah.
Yeah, Vibes Cartel. Like obviously I think that would have been a big deal no matter what. But I think that with Vibes like that, like his like I think a lot of like, attention got brought to Vibes Cartel because of Drake. Even though Vibes Cartel is Vibes Cartel. So it was not like Drake made him popular again. But I definitely think that it didn't hurt having Drake be like one of his biggest like fans as well.
Yeah. And he's always been a big fan of Vibes.
Right.
So like now that's the thing about this Kendrick beef that's a little annoying is that things that Drake has always said he stood on, people conveniently forget.
Right.
You know, because they side with Kendrick and that's where they let this stand culture take over. Cause it's like, yo, I'm just a fan of the music. Like whoever's music is moving me the most in the moment, that's who I'm fucking with at that time, you know? But into this album, right? So this album kicks off with, well, first off, he did a very cryptic interview leading up to this album coming out. He did an interview with Zane Lowe at Apple Music because at the time he had that deal with Apple Music.
Right.
So he did a thing with them, and Zane Lowe likes to make his interviews conversational and just kind of just slip in the questions in there that he's curious about or wants to know. So it was like this smooth conversation, and then he had just asked him some shit. And I think one of the questions he asked him was about handling beef or how he feels about, Toronto and all of this other stuff. And Drake was like, yo, like what I'm doing, I'm 100% confident in. And let somebody, if you think you can do it better than me, come to me and try to done my whole wave. And I'm gonna knock you down or some shit. And the way that he said it was super like, and I was like, oh shit. All right. Never heard him talk like that. And he was like, I'll end anybody with this shit or something.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, all right, talk your shit, Drake. This was back when artists still used to do interviews.
Right.
But I think it was a very interesting headspace for him because he was still in battle mode. For him to take that headspace into this album.
Right. Because around the time Joe Budden made a diss track called Making a Murderer, Part 1.
Yeah.
And then I think Drake never directly responded, but I think on 4 p.m. in Calabasas, people believe like there were shots aimed back at Dro.
Yeah. Jealous Ones MB.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think that Drake was like in battle mode. Like he like parrot like, and I guess like if you really think about it, like think like this, like you come to the like to a space and like somebody that you really like look up to or like fuck with is just like shitting on you.
Mm-hmm.
And it kind of makes you defensive. Like, yo, I met you in real life. We met already. We smoked hookah together at a strip club.
Yeah. Yeah. They're probably, I think they're Eskimo bros too.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah, definitely. I think that's Joe's biggest issue with Drake is that Drake took one of his best eaters.
Yeah. I think that's what it is too. Wasn't there a rumor about him and Tahiri?
I think so. Yeah, I think Drake flew Tahiri to Toronto or some shit like that. Like something like that happened. Yeah.
Yeah, man.
That's why Joe hate J.R. Smith.
Yeah. That was crazy. What a crazy time on Twitter to just upload a photo like that.
Upload ass while you like,
while you're watching the game. It's like, man, I can't even watch the game. Shaking my head and just Tahiri ass.
Just blocking the
TV. Crazy times. But yes. So this album kicks off with "Keep the Family Close." It's not my favorite Drake intro, but it definitely grew on me.
Yeah, and this is like when we started like learning that like, okay, like he, okay, like this is like early on where like we feel like Drake is like kind of like this is where the tough talk started creeping in.
Yeah.
And like, yeah, like it just it threw me off.
But it was still a lot of Drake-isms because it's sang. He's singing this.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I liked it as an intro afterwards because when I first heard it, I did not like this. It just was not for me. But
shit threw me off, man. That nigga talk like that.
Mm-hmm. And then it goes into 9. City loyalty, city on his back.
Yeah, flipping the 6 to the 9.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
Put the 6 on.
That was nothing. When it first came out, like the first 2 tracks did not pull me in at all.
Okay.
Back then and now still. You With Me, that's co-produced by Kanye. Samples DMX, How's It Going Down?
Which was a classy move, because we know this came out on the heels of X being on Breakfast Club and saying, that I don't like him.
I don't like him.
I don't like his voice. Yeah. I don't like the way he looked. I don't like the way he dressed. He just went in.
Yeah, good.
And then everybody was quiet. Everything was quiet. Drake didn't say anything.
Smart.
And then he put this out.
Smart.
Which means he was in contact with X, probably told him, yo, I love and respect you, and probably gave X a back he could not refuse.
Yep. Probably.
That's all it was.
All it was. Hey, man. Sometimes that's all you need. It's funny because, all right, so next is Feel No Ways.
Still one of my favorite Drake songs.
Yeah, confronting the end of a relationship,
should be downtown with him on the way to you.
That's a good song. Mm-hmm. I just don't think that right, and then that goes into Hype.
And Feel No Ways is co-produced by Kanye too.
Yeah, so Kanye has hands all over this shit too, right? So you got Kanye, And then you got Hype, which is, you know, small Meek disses on that one. And him talking and shit. But we get into the song that's my shit, Western Road Flows.
Feels so wintry.
Yeah, bro. Western Road Flows.
Feels like winter.
It felt like, yeah, like, and if I'm not mistaken, that's what you take to go to his house, if I'm not mistaken.
Western Road?
Yeah, Western Road. Like, I believe so. But I just really thought that, like, the storytelling, this was dope. The Mary J. Blige sample was perfect. So I just thought, like, all right, man, like, this is pretty dope. And I'm shocked. Does Drake does. I'm wrong. He does have a song with Mary J. Blige, but he don't have the song with Mary J. Blige, which is weird.
Which song he got with Mary?
It's called, like, Doing Bad or Doing Wrong or some shit like that.
Oh, yeah. She, bad guy, good guys, good girls, like bad boys and don't have fun or some shit like that. Like, you know, it is. Oh, yeah, he has a song. She has a song called The One, and it features him.
Yeah.
Back when, like, he first came out.
Yeah, so she had a song called The One. Then there's some other song about bad boys and good girls and all of that shit. I forgot, but.
Yeah, I'll find this.
Bad girls don't have fun. I forgot the name of that shit. But it just wasn't the song that it was supposed to be. Like, if you're a hip hop nigga, you're supposed to get a song with Mary J. Blige.
Oh, Good Love.
Yeah.
It's a Good Love. They got a few.
They got a few songs.
The One, Good Love, Mr. Wrong.
Mr. Wrong.
Okay.
Mr. Wrong is a song.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm sorry. That was terrible singing, Watches, but you get my drift. I'm sorry about
that. Yeah.
You know, like I did a song with Mary J. Blige, my nigga, has always like stood out to me. I always felt like if you're a rap guy, you have to get a song.
You gotta do one with Mary. Even though she's been on tour right now looking like have you seen that video?
I've seen it.
Of her on tour?
I've
she
seen
look like she's over it. Yo.
I think there's more to it than even the stuff that's going on with her and Misa.
Oh, that's true too.
Yeah, I think there's more going on with Mary than meets the eye.
That's true. But Western Road Flows was very clever. That's some good shit right there.
Love that song.
I'm assuming everybody 35 and under. That man, that's good. That's good. We get back into our Drake-isms with Redemption. It's a good all-timer.
I also realized this, like I don't harp on past relationships as much as a lot of people do. And I think that's one thing that I'm missing when it comes to Drake fandom. A lot of people listen to Drake songs and like they tie it to past relationships.
Yeah.
But I don't know if it's because like in my past relationships, like I can identify like what happened and accept it and then move on. I'm not saying like you know me. Like I'm not exaggerating. Like I could be like, yo, I was wrong in that shit. And like she just don't want to be with me no more. Like, and just move on, not be like, yo, this shit happened, this toxic shit happened, this happened. Like I just be like I guess I'm just more accepting of certain
things. Like it just plays out that way and you kind of just move on.
Right. Like I might take a little while to be, I'm not saying I'll be bouncing back. Like a nigga be down. But like the more time removed, the better I feel about it. Like, I don't hear music and like, it takes me back. But like, I have friends that like, it takes them right back to that place and like puts them in that mode. And that's why like they enjoy certain Drake songs so much.
Yeah. You don't want to walk in on a nigga singing, listening to Jaded. That's a place.
Yeah,
shoot to a spot.
That's what I'm saying. Like I don't have, and I'm not saying like I've been dumped. I've dumped people. I've had breakups that like I didn't want to end, but like you know my bullshit, their bullshit. But like I've never like been so connected to like it just wasn't a thing for me. But like I definitely have some friends that like will I don't think he'll be mad. Like Danny has certain Drake songs that takes him back to like past relationships or breakups where like he relates to it and like it could put him in like it can either fuck up his mood or like help his mood. But like me, I don't do that.
I get that. I definitely got some songs that'll do that for me. Okay. Where it'll take me there and it's like, damn, I remember this. But it won't like get me down again. It'll just put me in that spot again.
Okay, yeah, that don't happen for
me. Yeah. But yeah, Redemption is one of them ones. With You, with Party Next Door. That was a good one.
Really? You think so?
Yeah, it was okay.
I guess for me, like I assume that like Drake and Party should be able to finish each other's sentences. So on certain songs, when it's not like when it's them two and it's not like a complete knockout, I kind of be like disappointed.
Do you think And fast forward, and how do you feel about the their album that they came out with?
I like it. And I think that it was a couple years too late. I think that we should have got that album in 2016 for sure.
Same.
But I like it. I listen to it. Nokia is my shit.
Who's calling that?
Yeah.
Yesterday was my first, because I don't go out as much anymore. But when I went out yesterday,
That shit went off.
Man, my first time hearing that out. That shit was special. Even the second half of the song, "Baby Girl," everybody was going crazy. I'm like, wow, this is crazy. It's a good time. It's a good time. Yeah.
Let's call it that shit.
Yeah.
That's my shit.
This girl was like, "This is the best song I ever heard." Like, she just kept.
Wow.
Yeah, but she was just saying that. She's just saying stupid shit. But yeah, no, this really, really, I mean, it's not the best of their collabs. So it just kind of just exists in that playing field.
Right.
And I know I'm going track for track, but like I feel like every song kind of just leads into the next pretty well.
Mm-hmm.
Faithful features Pimp C and Division. I miss Division, man. I don't know where they are or where he is.
Right.
This shit is one person anymore.
Right.
I don't know.
Yeah. I'm gonna go on to Joe Budden Patreon and be like, yo, call Division up, see how he's doing.
Yo, for real.
Yeah. I got like the tier for like what is it? A friend of the show tier.
Mm-hmm.
So sometimes they'll respond.
Nice. I like the use of Pimp C on this.
Yeah. Always.
Mm-hmm.
I like, you wanna know what would a fire what we probably would have got? A Pimp C and Drake album. Even though I don't know if Pimp C would have liked Drake.
I don't think so either. Suck ass nigga. Suck ass nigga, man.
Canadian ass nigga. Foreigner. Yeah.
Yeah, nah, this Faithful is dope. Still Here feels like a throwaway.
It is a throwaway, Regg.
Yeah, but it knocks.
More subliminals, all that shit.
Yeah. Me and my niggas doing well.
Yeah, man. I don't know. Next thing you know, we got Controller, the dance hall banger, the infectious rhythm.
Mm-hmm.
Like you just couldn't fucking escape that song.
This is part of what people romanticize about that year is Controller.
Bro, I'm not gonna hold you. Controller definitely 2016 was like, okay, 2016 was like a last hurrah for me for being outside, being a hoe.
Yeah. Yeah, man.
Cause I definitely this song was definitely the song that was able to get me to take a girl home.
Yeah, Controller was
long time ago, ladies and gentlemen.
Long time ago. Yeah. Controller was that one. And One Dance too.
Yeah. Yeah, like right into that.
Yeah.
Like the fact that he put those together, I was like, ooh, this motherfucker's a fuck.
Yeah, they didn't play.
Yeah.
And then he came off the bullshit and did Grammys, man. Grammys with
that definitely was a throwaway.
Number 13. It is a throwaway, but I really like that song. I miss these two, man. They gotta fix it.
They'll fix it. I think it's fine, personally.
Yeah. I think they gotta fix it to the point of doing music together. That's gonna heal people. People are gonna be so happy about that if they do something together again. Man, you talk about what Controller and One Dance did. Gotta talk about what Child's Play did. Bounce that shit like, whoa. That shit, man, being at the function.
Those three songs, so Controller, One Dance, Child's Play. What?
Yeah.
Like that's like, you play those three songs, like you got everybody, you got the crowd in the palm of your hands if you're a DJ. That's a cheat code for DJs. Like I feel like there's certain DJs that like it's certain like combinations of songs to play in a row that'll just win the crowd over and get you booked for the rest of the summer.
Yeah. Agreed. And Child's Play is definitely one of those. Pop Style, I always felt like that was a throwaway too.
It sucks because the story of it seemed like it was a miscommunication.
Yeah,
it seems like Kanye made a suggestion and made a promise that he couldn't come through on. And I think that like Drake, like the way it was presented to Drake, like, and maybe this is me just in hopeful thinking, I don't think Jay wasn't not fucking with Drake. I just think Jay was like, I never agreed to that.
Yeah.
And I think Kanye was like, yo, we gonna call it The Throne and we gonna do this and this and that.
It's gonna be featuring The Throne.
Yeah. And Jay-Z, my man, I'll call that nigga right now. And I think Jay-Z was like, yo, like you don't call shots, I call shots. No. I really think that's what happened, more so than like it was like Jay-Z was like plotting. No, I'm sorry. Let me reword that. I'm sorry, ladies and gentlemen. I'm so sorry. Apologize. Jay didn't do it off the strength of Meek at that time.
Oh, is that what that was?
Yeah.
Ah, you're right. You're right. You're right.
But Kanye was just like saying, so that's why I got it conflated. Kanye was saying like, Jay don't care nothing about that shit. That Meek shit ain't about nothing. Who gives a fuck about Meek? Fuck Meek. Like that's what Kanye's saying, but Jay is like, nah, me and Meek are really close. I'm not gonna get in between this shit right now. I'm not gonna make Meek feel away by getting on a song with a nigga that's killing him. Like, no. And then Kanye's like, yo, but this is bigger than Meek. Like, Kanye don't give a fuck about Meek.
Yeah.
So Kanye's like, yo, fuck Meek. Like, let's do this song. Like, this would be huge. And Jay is like, nigga, I said no.
I'm not doing that.
Yeah. Like, I thoroughly feel that's what happened. And I think, like, Kanye's such a bad communicator that Drake took it like, oh, Jay is hating on me. Like, but Jay always gives Drake a verse. Like, always. If you really think about it. So I think that's what happened with that. I think Kanye just thought he had more pull to get Jay-Z to do what he wanted him to do.
Yeah. But even outside of all of that, it's unfortunate that it would happen for a song like this because this song just was never even that good.
Yeah.
It's just like whatever.
It was on paper. It was.
This
it
is
was
that Channing Tatum. That line is on this song. They call me. They call me Channing Tatum or some shit. He said, terrible. Oh, Too Good. Too Good is a classic. It's a classic song.
Breakup anthem.
Yeah, and you know about the report of him writing this, talking about Serena Williams, right? He was like, yo, I want there to be a song where they know it's about them and nobody else does or some shit. Like,
yeah, I mean, it's not like he invented the wheel. A lot of artists do that. But I get that. I mean, yeah. I'm shocked that Drake and Taylor Swift ain't do nothing together because both of them, man, they both some messy bitches.
They are messy as hell. I think, well, yeah, they've done outside of just like commercials and shit. Right? Did they have a no? They didn't.
Yeah, they
did. It was the Bad Blood song that he was singing.
He was singing a song. Yeah.
And then Summer's Over.
Magic Jordan, my man's.
Yeah, Magic Jordan is man, he got so much raw good talent on this roster that we just don't see enough of.
Yeah, man, Drake should be having artists just locked in the fucking basement, bro.
Yeah, and he does nothing to beat those allegations, man.
Ever.
Summer's Over is a great lead into the last half of this album because, even though the whole album feels very gloomy to me, I get his point, and it's a great point. It's a great way to drive his point home with this because you lead into Fire and Desire.
Cult. That's a cult favorite. Like that's like deep cut Drake fan. Like you really into that shit.
Real Lovers Only. It's the Take Care vibe. It has everything in it from that early phase of Drake. And then into Views, where he's really rapping.
Yeah, but that nigga was attached to his motherfucker. Like this, like I think Views is a song that really pissed off Joe Budden.
Wow.
He sound detached. Like it just don't sound. He don't. That sound like he did this song because he had to do it, not because like for it to be the title track. Under delivers.
Interesting. I actually wrote that. I don't think it comes up in his rap rants like as one of those songs enough. I don't think people bring it up enough.
I'm telling you, I think that the reason why that song sound uninspired as hell, bro. To me.
I guess I gotta revisit that. But then we end off with Hotline Bling, obviously.
The end all be all song right there. Yeah. Like if most artists, like if you get Hotline Bling is Billy Ray Cyrus's My Achy Breaky Heart. And that's not a slight. What I'm saying is that Hotline Bling is the kind of song that can change your life and you can make you a millionaire for the rest of your life. I don't think Billy Ray Cyrus I think he had like one or two more singles, but Billy Ray Cyrus is rich off of Achy Breaky Heart, and that's it.
Yeah.
What I'm saying is just
the Old Town Road remix.
Right. And yeah, like, and his daughter. But yo, Hotline Bling was such a big song. That could have been Drake's only song, and he would still like he would be Drake. Like, you get what I'm saying? Like that's Gundam style.
Like Mambo Number 5.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
I don't even remember his name. Who sang that?
Mambo Number 5. But damn, it was just on the tip of my
Lou
tongue.
Bega.
Yeah, Lou Vega. There you go. But yeah, like that's how big Hotline Bling was. Drake didn't need to do anything.
Yeah, Lou Bega. Mambo number 5. But yeah, I think that brings us to the end of this album, huh?
Mm-hmm.
20 songs.
I have 3 questions.
Yeah.
My first question: how has Views aged 9 years later?
I think Views has aged very well, actually.
You think it aged better than when it initially dropped?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
I think people was way too hard on this album when it came out. Joe Budden himself. I think Joe
said he said he enjoys it.
Yeah.
Right.
I think it's one of those unique cases where it got.
I guess it just threw people because it was so commercial.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's one. Second, did it shift music or just chase trends?
I would say it shifted more than it chased.
I agree with that.
Yeah. It shifted more than it chased, for sure.
Okay,
it embraced different. It embraced and played with different sounds. You know, he expanded his soundscape. You know, you got some dance hall on here. You got different fronts. You got dance hall on here, but then you also got songs like Hotline Bling. Like, he found a way for those songs to coexist on this album.
All right, and now I'm about to like ask you like a loaded question. I'm trying to set up how I want you to answer it, but you still gonna answer the way that you want. Actually, I'm just gonna ask you straight up. Is this the defining moment for defining album for Drake? And when I say that, like how for Michael Jackson, when he put out Thriller, the red jacket became the defining moment for Michael Jackson, right? With this album, did it pretty much like set the tone as who, like when a person thinks of Drake, like do they see the Hotline Bling video?
I could see how some people would think that, but I think his defining moment is still Take Care.
Okay.
I think Take Care is still like the album cover, you know, it's iconic. I mean, this one is known. But the album, like Take Care, everything about it, I think that's his defining moment because it fully gave you the duality of Drake.
Right. So I love Take Care, and I think that Take Care is a great polarizing album that like and arguably his best, like his top 2 best projects. But I do think that Views is the album that kind of like defined Drake. It set him apart. It pretty much made him. It solidified the fact that he's one of the biggest artists in music. Period. I think that it laid down the groundwork for his identity. I think that when labels like make like a vision board, like I think Views is used to like other artists, like, hey, if you can get to this level, because I think that was like his peak. I think like, you know, not saying like it's a decline, but like he went to the Views, he went to the highest that he will ever. I don't think he will ever match Views again. Like as far as like being seen as being a big deal, like even like with this they not like us shit and the beef with Kendrick.
Well, what do you think Scorpion did?
Scorpion? I think Scorpion was before Views. No, after.
Not after. Scorpion was 2018.
Scorpion was after. Okay, you're right. Okay, I got that mixed up. I went to that because he went on tour with the Migos. I still think that Views is the bigger project. It's a more worldly project. I think that Views is what made him a household name. I know some people might be like, what, Drake? I'm like, well, we in America, we biased. I think that Views is the album that made Drake a household name and got to Scorpion, and that's why he went on the world tour and did that. That's just my, you know, and my humble opinion. I'm pretty sure people can correct me. I'm pretty sure when LaShawn sees this, hi LaShawn, he's going to say something about it, you know? So.
Okay. I do think that this album has a lot to do with the ascension of Drake. I think what helps it become one of his defining moments is because it came out after the beef, which is a huge moment. Yeah, triumphant for him. Summer 16 and, you know, everything that came after. Like, it's like, yo, now he's battle tested, and Drake being a purist of like the guy that really is a huge fan of rap. I know he loved the fact that he was battle tested and proved himself and
Mhm.
came out victorious. So he was on a high off of that shit.
I will say that. I will say that like Drake goes out on his shield more
Mhm.
so than a lot of rappers
He does.
that like we really, really, really like fuck with. Like if you think about it, like when Nas like had his time, right? Tupac went at Nas didn't want to go at Pac. Like they had their bag of what they spoke, they squashed it, right? Biggie was going at Nas like crazy. So Nas and Biggie, they would throw some of them. Nas really only got in the ring with Jay because he just didn't see Jay as a formidable like opponent, right? But Nas, like he ain't really fuck with nobody like that, right? Like not so Nas, right? Granted, like that was a big battle. Drake really, really will go out there, put his chin out there and get knocked out and then continue fighting.
Yeah.
Like on some like old school 80s Roberto Duran, Sugar Ray Leonard shit. Like he'll fight. He'll get in the ring.
Yeah, he'll do it.
So I respect that. I fuck with that he does that.
A win, lose, or draw, he's out there for it.
Mm-hmm.
And I love that about him.
Yeah.
So let's get to these ratings. Views, Drake, what you got?
So it's a 3.5 out of 5 waffles, and I'm gonna tell you why. There's certain songs on this album that like just really, really piss me off. Sorry, Regg, Grammys with Future. It was a throwaway from What a Time to Be Alive. I feel like it was kind of lazy, and it messed up the cohesion. Pop Style he was let down because it was supposed to be in the throne, and I think the whole story behind that was what fucked things up. Views, the title track, is what kind of like was a huge letdown because it's the title. I always expect the title track to be like one of the best songs on the album. It wasn't, right? So I know in a party Child's Play goes the fuck off, but I did not need Child's Play on this album. I don't know why he couldn't just make Child's Play a Lucy song like how he usually does. It just didn't fit this album. This album was sad as fuck, and here comes Child's Play. Right? And there was like a lot of songs like, and so tracks between 6 and 13, right? But after Western Road Flows, you got Redemption, you got With You, you got Faithful, you got Still Here, right? So between 7 and 10, like it kind of like messed me up as well. Where like I feel like damn, like it had like similar energy, like some of the songs, like because it just feels like all right, like he just made another version of the same song. So it just felt like, all right, you just needed the best version of each of those songs for the album. So that's my thing. Like, yes, like you can have 3 songs that like sound similar that are really good, but why? Less is more, bro.
Right.
So that's all I'm saying. Like, I just feel like you cut this album down to 13 songs, this album is immaculate.
Okay.
So that's my thing. So like that's why like I have my rating. Like I love Drake. I've given this album quite a few streams over the past week or so. In research for this album, Drake. So I hope you don't take this offensively if you ever hear this or Drake fans. But yeah,
3.5 is still good.
It is. Like in my book, like 3.5 is like a solid album. It's the album that I would still recommend. And like like it has slaps. And like I think that this is the album that when you mention Drake is who is like what I think of him when I see of him. Now for me, if you're reading This Is Too Late is my favorite Drake album, but I also know that Take Care and and Nothing Was the Same are like in that realm as far as like best projects as well.
Okay. I think for me, I'm comfortable also giving this a 3.5 actually. I think this album really showed a lot of the moments that I enjoy about Drake. It showed and it really exemplifies like a lot of the things that I really liked about this particular year. So it has a nostalgic value. But then also like Taurian said that, which I agree with, is that some of this fat needs to be trimmed. This album didn't need to be this long. And I feel like I've been saying that about Drake albums for a pretty long time now. I think he's just into manipulating the system as far as the DSPs or whatever, and just trying to drive those streaming numbers up, which is unfortunate because people wouldn't have to think about these strategic things if they would get paid properly from streaming.
Right.
So now the music is suffering because you're putting out some lackluster shit just to hit some type of number, but whatever. I think we got some really big moments on this album that I love. One Dance, Grammys, Child's Play, Controller, Like it's just, you know, too good. Some result, like it's plentiful. But the only area that I would say that it suffers is the length of the album. And then there's some songs on here that haven't aged the best. And when I say like they're still listenable, but I just wouldn't play them on my day to day. There's a few on here that I would like nitpick and add to my playlist and that'll carry over. But overall, still a really solid album, and it aged way better than how it did when we initially heard it.
Yep, I agree.
So yeah, 3.5 across the board. I'm pretty sure you guys have listened to this album, but curious to know what your up-to-date review would be.
I would love to hear that.
Yeah, let us know what you think. I'm First Class Regg.
And I'm Taurian B.
And we're out of here.
We'll catch you guys next time. Dun dun.